Mass General was the reason we started raising money and will forever be a part of our fundraising efforts. However, Stephanie and I decided that if we started a nonprofit, we would be able to grow and expand our efforts for awareness campaigns, to raise and allocate funds for research, and to support the many families in Massachusetts struggling with epilepsy. So that's just what we did. We are now officially the co-founders of PAIRS. You can see our logo over there. Which stands for Pediatric Epilepsy Awareness Research Support. In addition to Mass General, this year funds will also be raised for Cure Epilepsy, one of the leading research organizations in the world whose mission is appropriately to cure epilepsy. Also in the past year, we have built a support network of over 60 families in Massachusetts, which is growing all the time. Our goal is to provide opportunities and events for these families to connect in an effort to help break the feeling of isolation that can occur when caring for a child with a chronic and oftentimes devastating condition like epilepsy. All of this is possible because of each and every one of you. While epilepsy is unpredictable, we have been so fortunate to have your friendship be such a consistent force in our lives. And that's really an amazing gift to us. Thank you again for coming. I now want to introduce one of my very favorite people on earth, the neurologist who so expertly and compassionately cares for Colin, for Beckett, and for Rosie, who you will soon meet, Dr. Elizabeth Thiele.
Hi, y'all. I'd like to really thank Stephanie and Julie and their families for doing this. I think PAIRS is a fantastic idea, and I'd really like to thank all of y'all for being here today. Julie asked me to maybe explain why we're here and what refractory or intractable epilepsy is. And hopefully everyone in the room knows that epilepsy is a very common medical condition. It affects about 2% of people worldwide, children and adults. And about a third of people who develop epilepsy, children and adults, develop what we call refractory or intractable epilepsy. And those are people who have seizures that do not easily respond to medications. And many kids, including, hopefully everyone's seen the pictures of the kids with epilepsy along the back wall, many of those kids have hundreds of seizures a day. Many of those kids have been on 10, 20 medications without seizure control. Many of those kids have had epilepsy surgery, where we identify the part of their brain that's causing the seizures and go in and remove that. Many of those kids have been on special dietary therapy for epilepsy. Many of those kids have different kinds of stimulators to try and control their seizures. So many of the kids I take care of, and I think at the Mass General Epilepsy Program, we now take care of probably over 3,000 children, all of whom have refractory epilepsy. Many of the kids we take care of have been on 10, 20 medications. It's not unusual for our kids to have 10, 20, 100 seizures a day. So that affects not only the life of the child, obviously, but the life of the entire family. And so it's extremely important to raise awareness about what epilepsy is, and that there's a huge unmet need, not only in treating epilepsy, but in also taking care of the child with epilepsy and their family. And at the MGH, and honestly, the funds raised here have really helped us. Kind of what we do is a very expensive venture. To provide appropriate care to kids with epilepsy and their families isn't covered by insurance payments. For instance, both Stephanie and Julie's kids, as well as Rosie, who you're going to meet, have been on our special diets for epilepsy. We have to raise over $100,000 a year to just allow that to be a possible treatment option, because insurance does not reimburse that. And kind of our mission, our commitment, and our passion is to make sure that all kids living with epilepsy and their families not only get effective epilepsy treatment, but they also understand what epilepsy is, and that we work very hard to minimize the impact of the seizures and the epilepsy on the child's life. So I really want to thank you guys greatly for being here. It means a lot to us that you guys are spending your time in this holiday weekend to come. I understand playing croquet is wicked awesome, and I love the name Wicked Awesome. But I think the fact that you're here in this mission means a lot to all of us. So thank you very, very much. And now I have the real pleasure of introducing someone who kind of in our world, and that is the MGH Pediatric Epilepsy world, has become a superstar and icon. and that's Rosie Dougherty, who's going to talk in a minute. Rosie has now been on our dietary therapy for 8 years, and she will tell you about her epilepsy. But in spite of her epilepsy, Rosie has not let it stop her, and her family has not let it stop the family from living their lives and pursuing their dreams. And Rosie recently completed her first marathon, and how she became an icon to us is we have a Facebook page. We have a Facebook page, and in March, 5 or 6 of the residents and neurologists at the MGH went on Rosie's diet to kind of raise awareness about epilepsy, and especially in the adult world where dietary therapy is not utilized as much as it should. And Rosie, every single day, kind of sent in helpful tips to the people on the diet to give them support. And then she and her dad also posted clips of her training for the marathon. So I think it was fantastic that Julie and Stephanie asked Rosie to come talk to you all about having epilepsy. So here is Rosie.
Hi everybody. My name is Rosie Dougherty, and this is the wonderful Dr. Thiele over here. I'd like to applaud her for being such an awesome woman. And I'll tell you why right now. So, my name's Rosie Dougherty, and I have autism and epilepsy. When I was diagnosed with epilepsy at the age of 1 year old. It got worse when I was about 8 years old. So I went to another hospital, and they kept giving me more and more drugs, and none of it worked, and I was having hundreds of absence spills a day like those people on the wall over there, who I think are great people too. And then my mother decided to take me to Dr. Thiele at Mass General Hospital. When Dr. Thiele first saw me, she knew exactly what to do. So what Dr. Thiele did was she put me on the diet and gave me some medicine to help control my seizures and saved my life. So I would like to applaud her for doing that. And the things I've been able to do since my epilepsy has been under control is I have been able to play the piano, sing. I have been able to read the books like the works of Charles Dickens and the works of William Shakespeare. I have most of all been able to run, and I have run 4 half marathons, and I also have run the marathon just recently, the Providence Marathon. And I wouldn't be able to do any of that stuff if it wasn't for Dr. Thiele. She did so much for me, it makes me so emotional. And I am now currently a public speaker, and I public speak about autism and epilepsy at 9 different schools, which has been pretty awesome. And I also am going to college in the fall, and Massasoit with a major of communications and theater. And I wouldn't be able to act if it wasn't for Dr. Thiele. I acted my freshman, sophomore, and junior years in I was in plays. And when I was in 10th grade, I won the Frank Kelly Adversity Award for seizing for 8 meets. But it got better, and I finished 2 of them, that was a very good award. And Mitty Pinto isn't here with us today, but she was the woman who nominated me for that award. Thank you, Dr. Thiele, again. And I've achieved a lot that I ever could have imagined. I was able to do the high school announcements. I just finished up high school, and yesterday was my last day. And I've done so much stuff. It's been incredible. I did the daily announcements, thanks to Dr. Thiele. I have to thank her for almost everything I've been able to do right now. My experience with epilepsy has been difficult, and it was a very difficult adversity that I had to overcome. But I always thought the positive side of the bright side of things, and it worked pretty good for me. I did cross country when I was in high school for all 4 years, and I do horseback riding. I'm an equestrian horseback rider, which I was since the age of 6 for a while. I've done so much stuff, like my life's an open book. And I also met this woman named Maria Wood, which I am currently, we do modeling, and we do some fun things, and I learned how to be poised. And thank you all guys for being here today and supporting epilepsy, because it means a lot to me. Every purple you wear, you support epilepsy. And that makes me feel good, because I feel like I'm being supported, because epilepsy doesn't define you, it makes you a stronger person. And that's what I become with it.